Pokemon Horizons might be coming to a close sooner rather than later. Sure, this is speculation on my part. I find it difficult to justify giving the main cast Paldea starters and not having them switch off in favor of a completely new cast. That precedent has been set for a long time. If you get a starter that is deliberately tied to a specific generation, set of games, or region, well, you're not going to be lasting that long. However, there is ground we haven't covered yet in Gen 9, specifically Blueberry Academy. Now, Pokemon Horizons is not going to adapt the game directly, it never has. Horizons is happy to do its own thing with game elements in service of its own story. However, that's not to say we're going to see no game elements. I mean, Shizune, of all characters, appeared, as in a one-shot trainer that you beat in Kitakami ends up becoming a minor character of the day. Not even minor, she's actually a major character of the day. While Carmine, well, she's a bit of a side character. And in episode 90, we get mention of Director Serrano and Blueberry Academy. And Anne. There could be a few ways to read this. The first is that it's merely a passing reference. After all, we're pivoting away from Gen 9 stuff and more towards original lore plus Mega Evolution because we need to sell Legend ZA. We'll maybe get a montage of Kieran training with Anne, but I wouldn't hold my breath for that. The other option is another staple of anime, training arcs, where the main cast is probably going to try to prepare a raid for the Exceed Company and Spinel. Because Spinel is effectively the big bad now, and we're going to need to have him be a bit more of an active big bad rather than just sitting on his throne so far. I can sort of see Drayton go, hey, you guys are committing crime, you'll need to learn how to raid, do our trials, and beat us, and that'll prepare you for the raid. I don't see Kieran being a jerk, but I do see him as being staunch and strict. I mean, the Academy specializes in double battles as a whole, and I think Spinel is probably going to use double battles, so it makes sense. This also would help contrast Kieran with Gita, who was a bit more easygoing. While Kieran's not going to be full-on jerk as he was in the Indigo Disc, I do see him being a bit more brutally honest. Here's sort of a scenario I feel might happen. See, our main cast plus Uruto decides to go visit Briar at Blueberry Academy. Roy and Uruto get swept up in a double battle against Kieran, lose, and Roy and Uruto gets, well, into some petty argument which Kieran solves through the power of being a bigger threat. What I am trying to get at here is that Kieran is not going to be a main character at all. He'll be a footnote, a supporting character, a one-shot, whatever the case may be. Because fundamentally, the DLC is his story, and based off of what's going on in the anime, there's really not a niche I see him filling other than battle instructor, brutally honest, and competent. I just hope he fares better than the food squad over here. Poor Arvin, he doesn't even get a voice actor. Or even Kieran's sister. Carmine is just kind of there. She's meant to be comic relief in this series. She's not meant to be a main character. But those are just my thoughts. I look forward to being wrong. Please consider liking, subscribing, tipping the channel on Ko-fi. This is Cyril signing off.